Today is July the 13th, 2024. My name is Tanya Finchum. I'm with Oklahoma State University with the Oklahoma Oral History Research Program. I am in Oklahoma City today to speak with Mike Fansher. Did I say that right?
Fansher.
Fansher. And his lovely wife will join us potentially later, Sally. And this is going to be part of our project that's focusing on Santa ambassadors.
Okay.
So before we get into the Santa, give us just a little bit of background on you. Start wherever you want.
Okay. Let me start with why I really became Santa.
Okay.
When I was a boy, 4 years old to 8 years old, I had a little red wagon. My dad would buy candy canes down at Bundy Candy. They were the big round ones. There was, I think, 36 in a box at that time. I would put it in my wagon. I would drag it behind and I would follow my dad. He would go door to door. He had a Santa hat he put on, knock on the door. How many children do you have? And he would give them candy canes up and down our street. And that was really a lot of fun, but it was how I grew up liking Christmas. My dad loved it. My dad was adopted. And so Christmas was very important to him and became very important to me. And so as I grew up, one of the things after losing my father, my wife said to me in church one day, that person just talked about being Santa Claus. That's what you should do to remember your father. I thought about it. I went and interviewed, got accepted. And my first job was down at Parks at Arlington. I was there 3 years. Wonderful situation. But I got a calling from the gentleman that was regional manager. And he said, I need you to come up. We're going to change Santas here. And I would like for you to be the Santa. And I'd taken 2 years of pictures with his children. He would bring them down to Texas to where I was. And so I said, I don't want to come to the city. I'll lose my anonymity. And so he kind of leaned on me a little bit and said, yes, you are. You're going to come and help me here. And so I came up to the city. And I found one of the things I liked about being in the city was I knew where to go eat. I had an ice box at home that was full. And I got to sleep in my bed. And that became very important as I got older. But it also let me know more what was happening in my community. I found out more and more. There were things that I liked. There were things I didn't like that I was seeing. One of the things is the amount of gifts that are given. To me, gifts without realizing it's Jesus' birthday. That's why we started this. That's why we do so. I'm saddened by that part. The part that I like is that it is the one time you can take November and December and put them together, and it's probably the nicest 2 months we are to each other. We're forgiving. We speak highly of you. We don't try to criticize you for 2 months, and we try to use the word thank you. You don't hear that as much in the other months as you do in November and December, for whatever reason. But for those things, I really appreciate Christmas. The thing about Christmas is getting to see the children grow. Now, I've been at Quail. Now this will be my 20th year. And so one of the things about being there that long, you get to see the people grow. And you get to see the changes in them. And it's funny, you say you can't remember all the children, but there will be little things that will hit you when they come and you see them. And it will put just a warm spot in your heart as you get to see these children as they're getting ready for Christmas and they're growing and they're going up. And then I've had people that have let me come down and see them as they give gifts of a car or something to their children. And they have all my pictures laid out with them. That I've had them since they were a little baby. I held them as babies, and now here they are driving a car. And then I have people that just bring me the pictures. I ask when they come, I know you've been here before and all. If you ever get a chance, send me a little deal of them. And I have multitudes of people that do that because I've been there so long. Now, when I was first talking to the Santas, when I was first starting, they said, don't. Keep moving. Enjoy the travel. Enjoy seeing the different people around the world. And I thought that's what I was going to do. I was never going to stay more than, 2 or 3 years. I would keep moving. I would see the country and everything. But you get into and you see your community, your people that are around, and how they're raising their children. You don't always wonder, but I wonder sometimes, in the mistakes I made with my own children when I see people. And so I just want people to be happy at Christmas. I don't want us to forget it's not all the gifts. It's about us being nice to each other. The word love is forgotten at Christmas. I try to tell every child, I love you. I try to tell every child, it's Christmas. Smile. And it's things like that that just warm you. You're going to have children that come to you that have problems, that will tell you things. There are things that we cannot fix. The child that comes to you and says, my mom and dad are divorced. I just want them together and you can't do it. But what you can do is you can say, we can say a little prayer, you and I. Put your head over with me and we'll say a little prayer and wish that the best things for both of them is what comes from this. And so it gives them something to think about. We can't fix the world, but what we can do is make it positive. I've had children that have come to me that they're not going to be alive many more months. And the parents that come, we do a segment at Quail where they can bring different children at different times. And some of them are in wheelchairs and all, and they don't want to come when the other children are there. So we come in a couple of hours early, once a week during that time, and they can come and sign up. And it makes it very warm for you when you see what people are living with 24/7. They've got a situation they don't get any break from. I've got people's houses that I go to that they can't leave and go out with other people because they have this child. They have to have a babysitter. They have to have somebody there 24/7. But when you come into the home, you see how this is living and what they're having to live with that you don't live with because you're getting to go out and be with the world. And you think, how do you do it? And they're loving people. And you see how they're raising this child and loving it. And you think, God put them in the right situation for whatever. Because we cannot fix everything, but we can love one another. And that's the thing I try to emphasize. You're going to see all sorts of things that are just going to tear your heart up. The kids ask for things. They bring you a list of 50 things, and it has the price and everything else on it. And my favorite question is to turn around and say, tell me the one gift you really want. And it may not even be on the list. And that's what surprises you. And it's things like that that just show me how people are changing. The TV, the phones, they've really changed the children of today because it gives them information that some of them don't need. And so it's one of those things for me to see how we can be a positive influence on the child. I want every child to know that when they came and saw this Santa, I'm a Santa helper. I'm not Santa. I thought Santa was doing the right thing, and I wanted to help him because he couldn't be everywhere. And so that's what I try to emphasize. Christmas is about loving one another. Have you told mom and dad you love them? Say little things like that, and you will be amazed the amount of kids that say no, the amount of kids that say, oh, yes. But it will surprise you the answers you get sometimes. And you say little things like, are you a happy child? I think so. Well, have a happy Christmas. Okay. It gets them to think about more than gifts. It gets them to think about mom and dad and everything they've done for them. Do we tell kids, do you realize how much mom and dad do for you? I do. So it makes me proud to know when the kids say, well, I do. I pick my room up. Now my dirty clothes, mom tells me don't touch them. But it's things like that let you know what's happening. And I love that part of being a Santa. I want people to come, sit with me, enjoy Christmas, but enjoy it's about the situation you live in, the people that are around you, and how you treat other people. One of the things that's really changed over the years of being this is how many people are not nice to each other today. How many people criticize the other person. Well, I don't like Steve, because he's not nice to me. Well, isn't he nice to you? Well, I don't know. Ask him. Huh? Yeah, you can ask him. All questions should be answered. So ask. I want us all to get along. I want us all to have a good Christmas. I want us all to remember this is Jesus' day. Enjoy what he gave us by just remembering him. You don't have to give a gift. The three wise men did, but we don't have to. We can just enjoy each other. And that's the thing I think we're losing at Christmas. It's become too commercial. It's become so much about the gift. It's become so much about us not realizing the people around us are special. They're going to grow up just like we are. I'm here today. I'll be gone tomorrow. So there'll be another Santa Claus. There'll be somebody else in here. But I hope we all emphasize that Christmas is about Jesus' birthday. It's about us being good to one another. And it's about us saying, I love you. That's it.
Okay, we're going to go back. What year did you first become a Santa?
Well, the first time I did it was because my wife was PTA and the Santa didn't show up. And so
that's okay.
Sitting out here, you say, we need a Santa Claus. My husband will do it. That's not fair to husbands, but that's when Santa jumps up. And you just hand out little candy canes at that time. But that was when my kids were in school. But
so that would have been about 60 years ago or so.
Oh, geez.
50 years ago.
You're going to embarrass me. I don't even know. My kids are, probably 50 years ago.
That would have made you 30. Does that sound about right? You said you were 80.
I'm 80. September 1st, I'll be 82. So, 50 somewhere right in there. 30s. Don't think my memory's as good as it used to be. It's not. But, it's, school.
That's the 1970s.
It comes and goes so quick. And at this age, you look back and you see these children coming up to you, and it reminds you of yours. I have 2 girls and a boy, and so when I have them come up, it's like each one of them has a little memory coming up of my children when they went to see Santa, what it was like at that time. And you think, wow, what's it like for them? Do they turn around and remember? I get tickled because I have now, my kids have kids that have come to me, and that's when I have to emphasize, I'm just a helper. Mm-hmm. I was picked to be a helper for Santa because he can't be everywhere. I mean, this is a big world. I realize time alters a little bit, but no, he can't be everywhere. He has to depend on people like me. And hopefully we're all doing a good job. And that's the way it is. But yes, being Santa Claus makes you feel very special.
So when the very first time you did it was a borrowed suit?
No. The company that I went with, they had us come in. They took pictures of you. When I applied and all, I did not have a beard.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Was it even gray?
No, it wasn't gray then. They dye it.
And your hair?
But when I first started, it was real funny because I just shaved like 2 days prior, and my wife convinced me we should go down and apply for this and join this company that was Santa. Well, if you joined, they would set up a time they would take your picture. Well, I didn't have a beard, so they said, well, will you have a beard in July? And this was in February, and I said, well, I'll have a pretty good beard. Well, he came in, he saw me in July, and he said, well, okay, we can make this work. But it was probably about like it is now. Usually, now I won't it'll grow now till the end of the year. And the end of the year, I grab it like this and go across because I don't want kids to see me out and then say, there's Santa. Christmas is over. And so it was funny. When I started, you took pictures. And so they came and took pictures of me later in the year when I did have a little beard. And then you buy your outfits. And the company has it set up, and you go in and these people will sell you the suits and all. And they ask you, how many do you want? And the guy that was kind of helping me said, get 3, because you're going to have one that's going to wear out. You're going to have one that kids are going to throw up on, and then you're going to have one that people wet on. So I'm thinking, they're going to throw up on me. They're going to wet on me. What is this job I'm looking for? And so it was funny. I bought 3 suits in the beginning, and I think it was just one of those deals. I wanted to be prepared, wanted everything just to be right. But I met a gentleman at that time that set me down and said, you and I are a lot alike. I've been doing this for 15 years. Let me kind of walk you through a season so you'll know. And he said, and he explained to me the different things of how to go in, how to, and the one thing he said, remember that smile you have, that's everything. If you can't think of anything else, just smile. And so that's what I started. But he walked me through the whole season of what it would be like, different questions that I would be asked, different things, how to handle them, find something that you're comfortable with. But the main thing, when you say something, say the same thing to the next one. Don't change, because they talk and they'll be back. And it was funny. He said, I'm going to give you my phone. And if you have any questions during the year, I want you to call me. Just pick it up and call me. And we get breaks, and I'll call you right back. I never had to call him. He walked me through it perfect. When I started Parks, I walked in, I very nervous. Probably as nervous as I was the day I got married. But I was just so excited too. I have a chance to talk and start kids off like I was when I was a young man. And I loved Christmas. And this was my dad and I starting off with these candy canes. So I just loved that part of it. And to see the kids light up when they see you, to see the smile, the ones that come in and are rough and tough, and the little girls that come in that are shy and just want to smile at you. But they want to tell you this little secret they've got, and they bend you down and they give you this little thing that they want. But the one thing, when you're talking to them, it's just like they're talking to you as you were when you were a child. You had the same questions. You had the same thing. Are you the real Santa? Do you want me to be your real Santa? I'll be your real Santa. But just be consistent, whatever you say to them, because kids don't need lies. When they look at Santa, they've got to realize Santa's 167 years old. That may not be me, but he wanted somebody to be here for you. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to relay the message of Christmas, to relay whatever that special gift is you want. It's got to be special. I don't want to just, have you thought of it? Yes, they have. And you just go on from there. But I'm telling you, when you get them in your lap, when you can feel your heart start to just beat a little faster, because this one reminds you of this, or this one reminds you. There's not a child that you get on your lap won't remind you of something. And as long as I've been doing it, you get more and more memories, more and more things. And so, if nothing else, you'll recognize the parents. The kids may change. They may be taller. They may be a lot different than they were the year before. But you may recognize who brought them. I'm amazed at the amount of grandparents raising children today. That hurts me a little, because I think it's very important, mom and dad. The amount of hardships that you see children are going through, they will be very honest with you. They'll tell you what they don't like about what's happening in the house. They'll tell you about what they like. It's just all how much they want to tell you. Some kids won't tell you anything. When you ask them, you don't seem very happy today. What's wrong? I've got to tell you what I want, and then I take this picture and let me off your lap. Are you going to smile in the picture? No. Do you want me not to smile? No, you're supposed to smile. Then I need you to smile. It's fun stuff like that you can have, and that's what makes it all worthwhile. At the end of the day, when you leave, it's amazing how many times you may have tears in your eyes, you may have warmth in your heart, but it's never just a solid happy day, because you realize there's a lot of children facing a lot of pain, and that hurts you because you can't fix it. You can maybe tell them the one thing that they need to hear. You know, when you leave me today, remember one thing about Santa. He loves you always, even when I know you're not as good as you could be, but I know you're my boy. And you leave with that. And that's what's important. Love, love, love.
So did you go, who was your trainer? Was it Billy, did you do the Billy Gooch?
Yes.
Is I'm saying
I
that
went
right?
there, but there was a person I met from North Dakota, and he trained me. And he and I even looked similar. You know, a lot of Santas, they have what they call, you may be a 9 to 3 Santa or a 3 to 9. And I didn't ever want to do that. I never wanted to be a split Santa. I wanted to be the Santa. But they'll say, oh, you look just like such and such. So you all can do a split if you want to. No, that's not me. I want, if I'm going to do it, I want it just to be me. That way, when I sit, the gentleman that I sat and went through it with, he was just so good at making it seem simple. Mm-hmm. And it's like he said, if you can't get up out of that chair every day and be happy, it's the wrong job for you. Don't make it about everything else. Make it about making a difference. If you can make a difference in a few people's lives, it's worthwhile. And that's what I tried to do, or what I'm still trying to do. I won't do it much longer. I don't have I'm getting old. The body is telling me. But the little lady that is at Quail will be there this year and one more, and I'll probably do it this year and one more. When she retires, I'll probably go, because she's been my boss the whole time. And I love her like she's in my family. But that's what you develop. I have some people that come to me at Christmas that bring you fudge, that bring you cookies. and did you like my cookies last year? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Do you remember what they were? No, I don't. I ate them. But that's the thing. You find out how nice people are. And, why do people come back year after year after year? My mom only took me one time to see Santa.
Mine didn't take me any.
Well, shame on your mom. But maybe she had the right spirit at Christmas.
She did.
So that's all that's important. It's not all about just seeing Santa. It's about the right spirit at Christmas. And I try to emphasize that because I think that's what's being forgotten. Just because retailers go crazy at Christmas doesn't mean we have to. We have to remember, come January, they're going to have a different sale. So let's remember, we want to make an emphasis that the main thing to remember is this love that we're trying to pass on to one another. I use that word a lot, but I am such a believer in it because I think it's what's going by the wayside. Kids today are too independent. They don't seem to really understand that the love that mom and dad has given them, that the kids around are important to them. It's not about that toy. I mean, how many times do you look at kids? They're on the phone. How many times do you look at them? They're on a game. They're in the line to see Santa. They're over here playing the game. We've made all these games, and these games have impacts on these children that it's too late to try to change it, but we need to watch the games that they're playing because they're too violent. They make a lot of problems, and they teach things that I don't think kids this young should be doing. Now, that's my opinion, not a mom and dad opinion. This is a granddad opinion. But I see my great grandkids, and I want the world for them. But I'm wondering, the world that I want for them, is that going to be there tomorrow? We shall see.
We shall see.
Okay.
So let's back up to what was your early outfit like?
Oh,
Or even still, what then and now?
okay. Then and now. When I first started, we had what we called I had Christmas shirts, and they had all sorts of Christmas on them, or one thing had Santa's on them, or one thing. And that was just the easiest outfit to wear. You didn't have the coat on. You could handle the children better and everything else. Over the years, what we found out is our country is changing so much. By that, I mean, people from other countries come in here, and people would look at me and say, "Who are you?" Because I was sitting, I may have a beard, I may have this Santa shirt on, and I've got the boots and everything down here, but I didn't have the jacket on. And that fooled them. And at that time, I didn't wear a hat either. And so I had people that came in that really didn't believe it, that I was Santa. They were from other countries. And so it got to the point they said, "I think you need to start wearing the Santa suit." Do I want to wear the Santa suit? I mean, it's hotter. Can't hold the kids as easy, that you lose them in the deal, the babies and all. And you say, "Ugh." But you start listening to the people that say, "Are you a Santa?" And you go, this is a changing world. We have to be able to change, to develop in different directions. So I toughed it up, put the outfit on, and have never been asked if I'm Santa again. So it shows you that outfit has something that people understand. My shirts, I'll take you in a minute and I'll show you all these shirts I still got. I got 44 shirts that all there that I can wear around, but people look at you when you're wearing it. What do you got that Santa shirt on now for? So it's just shows you how this world is changing. The change in the gifts that kids used to get 25 years ago to the gifts they get today. Think of the technology. I have seen a little technology change. My parents saw very little. But remember, I came from the group. I'm old enough to remember when the phone, I'm old enough to remember that. I'm also to remember the party lines that we would make little noises on when people were on with the party line. And they would say, "Get off that phone," But that's the change that the kids today, they have this phone they can do anything with. And a lot of it has too much knowledge for them at their age. I think we need to be very careful of the phones. It can be very good. There's a lot of things I like about it. A lot of the kids that have them is because mom and dad are separated, and this will only call mom, dad, grandma. So that's understandable. They've got to have that. But that way they're never alone. But for the kids that are calling other people, that are getting online and everything, too much. So I'm not good for everybody. But I'm very protective of the children, and I know it. I'm even worse about my kids and my great. The world that I wanted to leave for them is not what we're doing. I wanted us to be more tight-knit, and this country is more split. And so I worry about it that way. But I love Christmas, and so I go back for my rejuvenation. When I think about it, I've told everybody this year and next year, and then I'm gone. And everybody says, "Are you ill?" If you tell somebody, you go, "No, but I've been doing this, so long. It's time for somebody younger to step in and get their new views." I don't want to write a book. I don't want to write all the little sob stories that I've heard and one thing and another. I want to be the Santa that came, that showed love to the children and left. Very simple.
Very simple.
Okay.
Well, on your suits, I'm assuming it's the red traditional.
Yes.
Or
Oh, I'm sorry.
Coca-Cola or whatever they're calling.
Yes. I
I'm
can walk over and show you.
Coca-Cola traditional and real fancy overboard.
Yes. And the thing about it is you will learn to get comfortable. One of the main things we did over the years that I'm very proud of the industry for doing is putting gloves on Santa. Too many people were coming from other countries that were pedophiles that were using Santa as a way to get in. And I never thought about it till I heard the reason we were going to go to gloves, and got to support that totally. Anything that protects the kids, I'm probably over the top. So that's good for me. Anything, there's just, they send us a list, and it's words they tell you to be careful of. They mean different things in different ways. So it lets you know, be careful with these kids. They are delicate. They're like crystal or something. When they first start off, they are just so beautiful. God gave us perfect children. The only way they're going to be messed up is us. So I try to do as little messing up as I can do with them, because I have to admit, every child that comes across my life, I love them. Wish they were all mine. Better not say that, though. But yeah, I'm one of those. I love what I do. I will hate to give it up, but I've got to be able to do the job that I think needs to be done. If I can't do it, I got to step away. That's anything. And so that's kind of where I am with it. I'm going to hate to give it up, but I'm going to love for the next person to come in and love the children that I leave in.
So besides being Santa, what would you do for the rest of the time of the year?
I'm a bus driver.
For the rest of the seasons?
Yes. I'm around children.
You're around children.
One of the things when I traveled, I was around, I was in sales, and I traveled and I did all this stuff. And then when I retired, it was like, what do you want to do? The first year, my brother and I played golf. I did, walk out back fish, but how long can you do that? Really? I mean, for the people that can play golf, more power to them. I couldn't. I liked golf. I didn't love golf. But I love to see the difference in the children. What's coming up tomorrow? If I'm in an old folks' home, is this child going to like me, or are they going to be mean to me? And so that's the questions you kind of get, that you ask yourself. And so when I started, the first thing one of my grandchildren said, they need bus drivers. So why don't you come out and drive my group? Hey, I'll do that. Yeah. So I went out, go take the CDL, become a bus driver. I loved it. I had all these kids. I got to see them from grade school to high school and find out, boy, are they different than when I was in school. And you sit back and say, wow, this is what's the changes you're seeing, and think what they'll be tomorrow. Now, if I see this many changes, think of what they're going to see. And then it came up, this opportunity, as I say, my wife and I sitting at church. My wife said, that's what you should do to remember, if you want to really remember your father. And so I did, and I love it. And it's funny, I had to get this far in life to love what I do. So I will hate to give it up, but I want to give it up on my choice. And I've got to have that spirit of loving everything that's coming across. So we shall see, but I will always love Christmas. It's just in my blood. When you're little and you don't realize this impact something's having on you, and then you get older and you look back, one of these days you're going to look back and you're going to find out you've divided life into segments. This is when I was a bad boy. This is when I got a little better. And this is when, and now I'm trying to be the best guy and make everybody a little happy. So there's where we are. We shall see.
We shall see. So let's get some of the timeline. When did you retire?
When did I retire?
Before you started the bus driving?
62.
When you were
82. When I was 62.
When you were
Oh, no, not in 62. When I was 62.
And when were you born?
I was born in 42.
Okay, vintage 42.
Yeah.
Okay.
So September 1st, I'll be 82.
Okay, so.
And so I'll do it this year and one more, hopefully, depending on my health. You know, your health depends everything.
Well, do you just work at Quail Springs then?
Just at Quail Springs.
That's it. That's only, you don't do any side events or anything like that. But did you before?
I did before, yes. And the reason you do that is I would have people that could not come, that had situations. They would come and say, we have a friend. He has a bone disease. He can't just come out of the house and go stand in line and everything. Yeah. Is there any possible way? Well, sure. You know, that's what we have to do. We have to take care of one another. And this is once a year, and they're living with it 24/7. Slap yourself if you won't do it. Yeah. And so, sure. And then there were situations that I got into a family that had adopted children. A brother and a sister adopted 2 from here and 2 from there. They were from other countries, but they were molested children. And so there is a little booklet that you can take, and it shows you how to deal with these children that have been molested. Because you can't just come up to them and say, sit on my lap. These are children that don't understand that because they've been mistreated. And so you have to learn how to really deal with people like that. And the one thing you learn is anybody that really doesn't want to come to you, there's the air hug. How do I hug you? Oh, I'm so glad to see you. And you don't touch them. A lot of children, not knowing their situation, may not like to be touched. It's like the child that comes up and wants to stand next to me. It's okay. It does, you know, we act like you have to sit on Santa's lap. You have to. There should be no have-tos in this world. Then we just need to care for each other. And so all those situations, when I went and dealt with that situation, usually if you go someplace, you'll spend maybe 15 to 30 minutes. I spent nearly 3 hours because you see what these people are trying to deal with. They're going to have this. You're going to walk out the door and you're going to be away from it, but they're going to be with it all this time. So what do you try to pass on? Some of the things that they'll understand. And the one thing I wanted them to understand was love. Love, love, love. If they hear that, sooner or later, it's going to sink in. How many times do you have to say it? Whatever's enough. Yeah. There you go. But you will see they'll come around. The little girl that was one of the ones that I remember when I got to the front door, I'd never touched her. She came to me to the door and tapped on it because I was leaving. I always turn around and say, Santa loves you and I'll see you next year. And I turned around to say that, and she ran to the deal and she tapped on the deal. And she said, can I touch you? Brought tears to my eyes. Yeah. But that's the thing. You see, time can heal all. Just give it time and be the right person. Life. Yeah. It's tough enough.
It is.
Okay. What else you got for me?
Well, I'm assuming initially it was lines were longer than they are now, or
yes.
Has that changed any?
When I was at Parks, yes. I will give you the example at Parks. You walk in of a morning and you have them all day long. When I was there Christmas, they would take you out. They would hand you a speaker and you would say to the people, there's going to be a security officer at the back of the line. Everybody's going to have a number. Do not get rid of your number. If you don't have a number, we're going to try to get everybody through today. So please keep that number they give you. They would give you a number and they would say, you got 511 to see. And you'd go, 511? How much time does that give me for each one? You're trying to do this in your mind, and you just realize I'll be there whatever it takes. Because if you stand in line with your child that long, be there. You've just got to be there. So parks, that was, even when I came back to Quail, they were still 3 times bigger than when I came here. I replaced Steve, and Steve was somebody, before I even got with the group, I would go out and watch him. I just like to watch Santa. I'm a weird dude. So I would watch him and see how he did things. So that when they departed for him and they brought me in, I wanted to be a positive Santa. I could not be him. Don't ever try to copy another one. Be yourself, but be what you want to be at Christmas. And so when I came in, I'd already made my decisions from being down at parks. I'm this kind of a Santa. I'm going to come here. I'm going to show a little love to all these children because that's what I believe in. Santa loves you. Don't let him leave you without loving you. And so it's funny. I've had kids come up to me and say, "You still love me?" And you go, "Well, yeah, but what did you do?" And then they say, "Mom didn't tell you, huh?" "No, well, I don't want to tell you either." And so you realize, you did something. He remembered it for a year, and he came back, and now he doesn't want you to know what it was, though. But that's children, And you think of moms and dads. It's not easy raising these children, especially today with all the technology that's out there. And the one thing you learn is the biggest thing that happens to children is peer pressure. It's huge. I have children telling me, "I can't tell anybody I came and saw you because they don't believe in you." Let's keep it a secret. "No, I don't want it to be a secret." Well, let's keep it between you and I then. Is that okay? Yeah. I'll tell mom and dad then. Okay, you tell mom and dad. But you see this peer pressure and how much it can do to children. I had peer pressure, but not like they do today. And it's unbelievable what these children are facing. And part of the problem is all this technology we put in front of them. It can be good, but it can be so bad. And that's my protective side of kids. I get to grandpa. I am what I am. We'll just leave it at that. And I want each child to know that life is great. And it may be, you may live as long as I have, or you may not. But enjoy the time you're here because it comes and goes quick. We don't think it when we're living it, but it does. It comes. Now that I've been to this age, it just seems like yesterday I was just. And so you just hope that somewhere when I leave this, I want somebody to say, "Boy, he was a good Santa. I'm going to miss him." And you just leave it at that. That's all you can hope for. Somebody you made an impression on. And it's like the one that comes up and hands you a note and it looks at it and it doesn't say anything on it that "This is Crystal, I love you." And you keep those because I have a box of them. And that's what I like is I made an impact. Somebody that would remember and bring a note. I like that. That's the old grandpa in there or whatever you want to say. But if you can make a little difference to these kids today and you can do it in a loving way, please try. Please try. Okay?
Okay. I'll try. So what if the mall is closing and your line is still?
No, I stay.
The mall will stay open and let you?
They will do whatever. You got to realize your mall may close at 9 o'clock, but it's open much later than that because it has a movie theater in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie theaters usually go till 11 or 12 at night. So you got plenty of time. You're not rushed. So the old deal of clothesline and all,
No.
don't do that. Just, and it's like you say, malls have changed. You've got to realize Quail, where I am today, probably the big change there is they've moved in machines for these kids to play.
Yeah.
If you want to order something, Mom, go to the phone and order it, and they'll deliver it tomorrow to you. The old going to the mall and shopping, taking daughter, taking whatever, it's gone in a lot of cases. So how long will malls last? In my opinion, as long as they're in a closed structure where it's an old mall, it's been there for a while, parking and all, a lot of apartments around, they'll make it. But it's like Quail will have to adjust. Now, we're down to what I call really, we have two malls here in that we have the outlet and we have Penn. Well, Penn has taken over a lot, but the outlet mall coming in has taken it a different direction. So, want to drive up, walk in, get it, boom. The old deal of shopping, like I did with my mom and dad, it's gone. I will tell you, probably 15, 20% of the people still do that. It's sad, but we are make it easy on me. It's like, these fast food places. Why did they make it? Because it's drive up, get it, and go.
It's easy.
Hey, when I traveled all those years, where did I live on? Because I didn't like going into a restaurant, sitting there, and then seeing across the couple sitting with their two children, enjoying dinner, and my kids weren't there. I couldn't do that. It just didn't make it fun. So that's the change. What will it be like? I've seen all these changes. What will it be like in another 25 years?
Well, with the mall's customer base seems to have shrunk, but has the lines, has the people you see?
Oh yeah, they've changed. Now,
do they take
because
reservations?
I've been there so long,
yeah,
I still have a pretty good following.
Okay.
But that's the following. But now you get 16. Do you really want to come to me again? No. I had a young lady that she graduated law school 2 years ago. I had her from the time she was till when she got out of law school. And then she was leaving the state. And so she came in and said goodbye to me, wrote me a real nice little letter. But that's life. That's what we're all facing is these changes. And you have to be able to adapt. It's a world of adapt.
What do you think it is about that experience that had her do that? Why do you think?
Well, wasn't close with her father.
Mm.
Over the years, we kind of learned that her and Dad didn't do well together. And so I asked her the question, and I said, did he love you, though? And she said, I don't know. I said, did you love him? I think I did. Love isn't something you think about. It's something you know. So to say you think about it. I think you'll know the answer. And he may not know how to say it to you. He may be too strict on you, but he can still love you. Because a lot of our strictness is we're wanting to shield you from any of the things that are out there. So you have to look at both sides. Just because I'm strict doesn't mean I don't love you. It just means I want to protect you. And that's all. If I could, every child that came along, if I could protect them, I probably would try. So I'm not good in that sense. I just think it's today with all the outside pressures, I feel for parents because it's hard to raise. And now you have the woke system coming in. And that's another pressure on it. You know, when I grew up, you were a boy or you were a girl. And that was it. And now we're wanting to go to all these other directions. Because I wanted to have all girls, I would have taken my boy and made him a girl. Not me. I'm the old school. Just whatever you call old school, I'm in. One clear through. So I guess that's when we die off after so many years. That way they can continue changing. But, you know, I don't like the situation where kids don't know they're kids. I want them to know they're kids. They need to be a little protected. You know, there's too much bad out there. So let's protect them as best we can. Nothing wrong with that. You know, if you think about it, when you're raising children, you don't realize how fast they're growing up. And you don't realize till all of a sudden, I want to dress just like so-and-so. Huh? Why? You look beautiful the way you are. Well, I know, but she's more popular. What does popular have to do with it? A dress. Well, I think it's because of the way she dresses. She's really stylish. What style is that? Well, I don't know, but I want to do like that. So, I mean, it's just pressures. They feel all sorts of pressures. And today, I don't know that you can change that. It's just what it is. And my feeling is it's going to get worse. I'm sorry. But Santa's not. He's going to love you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. As you were becoming more and more experienced at being Santa, did you have camaraderie with other Santas in the area, or were you just a solo?
I was just a solo. I've met different ones, but I'm me.
Yeah, and if you had an issue or something come up, you'd figure it out yourself or call the man that gave you pointers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first few years when I was with the company, it was just like there were things I really liked and there were things I didn't like. And I learned that. And I found out I've got to be me. I can't be a carbon. One of the things that I was told in the beginning is you can't be a carbon. So now we sit 5 years later and we say, are you going to be a carbon? No. Haven't been. I've found my own way, what I'm comfortable with, what I feel good in saying to the kids, what I know I want to say to them, and how do I keep it enjoyable? It's not easy to sit there all day and have people come up and the ones that bounce and the ones that, can you hold all five of them? Oh, yeah, I'll try.
And to keep the smile.
And there's just things like that you walk away at the end of the day and it has to be, this was a great day. I got to see my kids. And that's the whole thing with me. They're not just kids coming to me. They're my kids. They came to see me, Santa's helper. And so that's the way I look at it.
So you didn't stay with the company? You're still not.
No, I went independent after 5 years.
After 5, okay. What was the name of the company, or do you want to say? Not say.
I don't want it in case I'd hurt somebody's feelings.
That's fine.
So
5 years. And then independent sits then.
Yes. It just.
So do you have to have a contract with Quail, or is it just an unspoken agreement or whatever? I mean, unwritten agreement.
I don't know. Kelly and I have been together so long now. I do have a contract with them. And it tells you the days you'll be there, everything like that.
Yeah. Are you the only one that goes? Are you the only one that goes to Quail, or do you have someone?
No, only one.
So you do the whole.
I don't.
Okay, you don't split shifts.
Yep.
I got you. Okay.
Okay. We tried that. It didn't do well. people that had come to me went to this other guy. They thought I was gone. Then they learned I was not gone. They had just split the shift. And so then they come back with that picture and say, we don't want this picture. We want the picture with you because it matches all the other pictures. I had a mother sit with me one time and say, do you know what it's like to have 12 different Santas on your icebox? And I said, well, no. But she said, I want you to stay here. I love having the same Santa on my icebox. I like my kids seeing them with you, growing up. And I never thought about it that way. And so it got to where I kind of took the mother position, because then I don't know who told them, but then I had several mothers that came to me and said,
oh, they're campaigning, huh?
yes, y'all talking behind my back here? But we want you to stay. This is what we like about, is coming to see you. And so you think about it and you kind of understand where they're coming from. I just, if that seems so little to make somebody happy. My ideal in the very beginning, when my wife and I started, was we were going to travel with it. We wanted to go to every spot in the United States we had never been. That was our ideal. You want to go to Portland, Oregon. You want to go to wherever here. And then all of a sudden, you get in this situation and you say, nope, I like being here. My grandkids got to come to me. If I go to Portland, Oregon, I won't have my grandkids. Some other Santa's going to have my grandkids. No way. So I became very selfish about it. I want my grandkids. I want, and then my wife and I laughed because we spent three New Years looking for a place to eat. And the place that we found, you went in and they laid the menu down and they said, you got 6 choices. And that's what you've got. And it'll be such and such. And so those were the 6 choices you had. And it was like they microwaved it and brought it out, set it down, and that was your deal. And it was like, this isn't Thanksgiving. This isn't. But if I'm home, I can have Thanksgiving. We're off that day, so I can see my grandkids. I can go eat with them. I can do whatever. And that's important to me. The family are being forgotten. Shouldn't be. We have more arguments in families now than ever before. More splitting of the families. I think it makes me sad. But the other side is you're only here for a certain period of time. Enjoy it. So I want, the thing I keep asking myself is, when I'm gone, will my kids have memory of me? Will my grandkids have me? Will my great-grandkids have memories of me? Because in talking to my grandkids, they don't remember my mom and dad. So I want them to have a memory of me. I want them to have a picture so they can say, see that? That was my grandpa right there. That's important to me. They don't have to remember me, but if they've got a picture, they might. So, life, I go back to it time and time again. Now that I've lived to this age, it's short. Enjoy it. Your enemies are your enemies. Those that you can change, you can try. Those you can't, go enjoy and make new friends in. But enjoy this life. The one word that will help you more than anything, love. I sit and I look, my wife and I have been together 59 years. When I'm thinking, a lot of people don't even live that long. Why have we been blessed? Cannot tell you why. But I will tell you, one of the things through all the arguments, I can remember saying, I'm not going to speak to you for a while, but I do love you. And that was, you've hurt my feelings, But love, love, love. What's wrong with the world? We all don't love each other. We don't want to be with each other. That word to me, and it's like, if I look today and I see how schools have taken, they've eliminated the Bible. They've eliminated, I was in the military. I believe in supporting this country. I'm a flag waver. My father was a flag waver. Maybe it's my father's fault. I don't know. But I mean, this is a great country. Why do we want to change it? Why do all these people come in here and then want to change it? I don't understand. But it shows you this country is the one that they want to go to. So we're doing something right. Now, we can spread a little more love. We'll be better in the future. I keep going back to that. It's all about that. Sorry.
That's part of Christmas spirit, though. That's part of it.
It is. And if you really think, when you sit down at Christmas, I can remember we used to sit down like with the camera and they'd show us all coming in. And I can remember, the old cameras used to weigh 50 pounds practically that you had on your shoulder and all. We would set them up and then we would all come down the stairs and all. And the kids told me one year, Dad, that's the 5th year you're wearing the same pajamas. You may want to change. And I never noticed it. But little things like that meant a lot to me later. To go back and see that, how we were at that time. How do you go back? We have lots of ways to go back. Memory will be the main one that people will have when they're sitting someplace and not happy and all. You got to have a good memory of something to reflect to. When you're waiting in a line, when you're doing something and you just have to sit there. It's nice to think back over good parts in your life. And so that's what I think people don't have enough of, those good memories.
Well, you're helping giving some of those.
I hope so.
How do you prepare to get yourself in the mindset for a new season?
Oh, geez. I have a bunch of pictures, letters, and all in my box. I'll take you in my office in a minute, but I'll show you. And I just read what people wrote about you and try to turn it over. So I'm not reading the same one every year, but it's so important just to be in the right frame of mind when you start. But also, now my beard will be quite a bit longer.
How much further?
It'll come down. It'll come down about here. By the time I hit November, it's usually right here in my chest. And I'll clip it after that. I won't let it get any longer in here because it gets in my buttons. So anyway, but if you read those things, if you see the impact you've made, what more can you want? And you get where you're almost anxious to really go.
Get ready to start.
It's all about, can we make one another happy?
I was wondering if you watched movies or listening to music. Christmas
Oh, sure.
Music,
I get Christmas. Hallmark. I'm a Hallmark guy. Anything that's happy, I find myself, and they have so many Christmas movies, and I will sit and watch a movie. How many times have you seen that? 15, 20, I don't know. But I don't get tired of them. That's the thing, where there's joy, where there's happiness, where there's love. I'll watch it.
Do you have a favorite one?
I really don't. The one I think of is the one, I wish I could think of it. Sally, help me. The one where the guy comes in, I can't think of it. That's my memory going, so sorry. But it's one of those old ones. It's a black and white. The guy comes in and the kids, he was going to be gone and he made it back through the bad weather and everything else and blah, blah, blah. And they all get to have a happy Christmas. And that's what you see. And it's just the word happy. want to be happy. We'll see. So,
Well, do you have a favorite Christmas tune that'll get you right mentally right there?
I love
Not
Merry
Santa
Christmas.
Claus is coming to town.
No, Merry Christmas. Just Merry Christmas.
Just Merry Christmas.
All those, I think the songs and all, it's just to get you in the right frame of mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of them are pretty soft. They're not rock and roll. They're just old songs that really just kind of warm your heart a little bit. And now we go back to it. That's what Christmas is. It's about a warm heart. If you have it, you'll enjoy Christmas. If you don't, you may not. So.
Well, then how do you do self-care during the season and after the season's over? She's in charge, huh?
Well, you got to remember, I drive a school bus, so I get to see kids and I get to hear the impact that they had. So I'll go through and then I'll have the ones that said, well, you know, hey, there's our picture. What do you think? Oh, I look good. and it's funny how kids want to tease you with that picture. You know, and you just go, but it also says they brought it. Why did they bring it? It's really to say you're okay. And that's all it is. I go back to the thought of Christmas in the very beginning. It just all has to do with the word of family, love, Jesus' birthday, what he wanted for us. Can we all do that? Sure we can. Will we? Probably not, but we can try. Say something nice. You know, why is it in November and December we can say more nice things about people than we can the rest of the year? And that always amazes me. I see people stand in line and say critical things about somebody, and, you know, it just seems crazy. Well, what is that waiter waiting on? You know, blah, blah. He's a waiter. He's not the cook. Give him a chance. And it's funny. It's made me a nicer person to wait in line to, you know, get served bad food, everything, because they tried. That's the whole thing. If they tried, shouldn't you give them a little credit? We shall see. But anyway, when we come to Christmas, it'll start about September when I'll really start reading and everything and getting in the mood and looking at my stuff in there, one thing and another. But then come January, I try to cut it off, get away from it. I'm not Santa on January the 1st. I'm just me again. And so I don't want to be a 12-month Santa. I want to be somebody that made an impact at Christmas, that let them know they care. Anyway, no, that's all it's about. If you really think, you know, when do you start getting ready for Christmas? When do you start buying your gifts? She starts buying in July. I mean, what's that box over there for? Oh, that's for your grandson. And that's for him. And you're going, 4 months? You bought it 4 months in advance? Yeah. It was on sale.
It works for me.
Doesn't work for me. But anyway, that's part of it. You know, the sooner we start thinking about Christmas, the nicer we start getting.
Maybe it's seeing the red suit that makes everybody nice.
I've often wondered, because red makes the bull mad.
Well.
So, you know, you think about, but you see different people doing different things. When you talk about the malls and all, I'm really concerned for them, because I think 2 to 5 years, I don't know what it'll be like, because I mean, there's so many companies that are now doing the school pictures, doing party pictures, everything planned around Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, all these picture takers and all. And you got to remember, when I started, there was Santa at the mall. And now it's all changed. And what is it about?
Well, I guess when you started, it was Polaroid Instant.
Used to hand you come in. Do you here's the Polaroid. Do you want to take the picture or do you want us to? Oh, you want to take it? Here. $5.
Not when you were doing it.
No.
That was
But
when you were
that's when it
child.
started. And the person, would take a Polaroid, here's your picture. You get it. Well, I need to take another one. This one just looked at the floor. He looked up and I took a picture of the floor. So you'd say, okay, let me take it. And you do. But that's where it all started. The Polaroid camera was a good friend, whether we realized it or not. And now they've done away with things that I really like. We used to have Baby's First Christmas. Baby's First Christmas. And we tried to do it the first week to 10 days that we started, and it would have a little frame that said Baby's First Christmas, and it would give you a little 5x7 or something, and it was just really cute and nice, and it was really inexpensive for that. And then we had, just after that, we had, early shoppers. Mom's favorite deal, early shoppers, and then they would be good up until Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving, everybody just fell into a groove of that's the way it's going to charge you. But we used to do things. We don't do them anymore. Now, if you want a picture, come and get it. And I think that's part of it. They've lost the merchandising part of it. They've lost the friendliness of it. We don't try to cater to people like we used to. We're sitting a Santa up there. We're saying, if you want to go to him, go to him. It's going to cost you this much. It's kind of a cold way to look at it. Christmas isn't about the cold. It's about us caring about one another. So as it changes, it's going to change. I won't be around, I don't think, but we'll see what it's like in another 10, 15 years.
I still think the picture is the primary thing, isn't it? That people want from a Santa visit. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they can have it for eons.
Yes. The thing that's different, though, you got to remember now at Christmas, we do that at the mall. But now they have school pictures.
Oh, okay.
They'll come through, and we're just going to take a picture. And I don't know what the school pictures cost now, but a couple of the guys I know that do that, they go in and they'll say, you're going to get so much a picture. There'll be 250 kids. You're going to get 50 cents a picture. You're going to do it in 2.5 hours. So it's a good deal for the Santa that wants to do that. But you're not asking them anything. You're just taking a picture with them. They've eliminated another part of it. And where do we go with this stuff? Why are we always trying to cut it, speed it up, move it around? That's why I'm dying off and others are coming in. But it's the truth of it. That's the way it is. We're in a changing world. Everything is going to be different in the future. And I think that's why we have the way life goes. And, if you look around and you think, you're too young, but if you just think of the changes you've seen, think of what your kids are going to see. Think about what your grandkids are going to see. Will they remember me? My great-grandkids, will they remember me other than this picture? Probably not, if they ever look back at it. But I hope they will, so they can see. But Christmas is going to be Christmas. It's just what the dimensions and what the changes will be. We'll have to wait and see. I'm really curious. I won't be around. Maybe I'll look from afar. You never can't tell. But it's a different world, and it's changing. And so where will it be tomorrow? None of us really know. But I hope we still remember the love that Christmas was supposed to bring, that Jesus' birthday. We'll see. What else?
You're on a roll.
As I say, when I get to talking Christmas, I get wound up.
Well, you already answered a lot of what I had down here, too. And etiquette, you have to be on your best behavior at all times, whether you're in suit or not.
Well, think about this. If you see Santa and he's walking off and the little kid runs up to you, how do you handle that? You've got to bend down. You've got to touch them. That's all they want. You know, I saw Santa. He shook my hand. Big deal. You know, give them, what, 2 seconds, 3 seconds? It's so important, I think, that we keep the dimension of Christmas and Santa and Jesus' birthday together. Don't separate them. I don't like it when we separate all this out.
I guess the question would be, how do you accomplish that?
I think you do it by your demeanor. In other words, if you come to see me, I'm going to tell you I love you. I'm going to ask you, what did you come to tell me? Are you going to ask me for something special? Now, don't remember, I've got a full basket out there, so be kind to me. What do you really want for Christmas? Remember, when you leave here, Santa loves you, though. And you just let it go like that. It's children, the more you talk to them, the softer they get, the more, and what they really want to do is touch you. That's what's really funny to me. And the gloves have made it different because for a lot of first-time mothers, one of the things you have to learn about a first-time mother, she may come up and just throw you the baby. So you got to be a catcher at times. But because of the big coat and all, you can lose the baby in it. So you have to learn how to get that baby up into the pocket to really take a picture of it. Otherwise, what you'll get is a picture of your... I mean, it's really funny to see what some of the pictures are. But the person is supposed to tell you, we need to pull his head up a little farther. That's what the photographer's for, is to let you know you're not getting a good picture of the baby. Because, believe it or not, in that case, Santa's secondary. It's that baby. If I brought a baby to you, I want a picture of the baby.
Yeah.
Then Santa.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think of that when I took mine. Oh man, that was my baby was Santa, and I just excited, just blown off the top. And that's what it's all about, is that first time picture. That's why when we used to have those little frames and everything, baby's first Christmas, they were wonderful. They were wonderful, but it gave you a tie-in with them to start them off. Now they don't do the marketing things to really bring you in and make you a part of it. You shop wherever you want to. You can shop at 5 different stores and it'll wind up on your front porch the next day. You know, you don't know who packaged it, who did anything, or who dropped it off. And I think that's the coldness that's come with Christmas now. Because we used to go out and shop. You used to see, oh, I haven't seen her since, for 5 months. And there she is shopping with her daughter. Oh, hello, Stephanie. It's good to see you. We don't do that. Why? Because we're not going to the stores anymore. Grocery stores, in and out. Look at the faster, it's just we don't take time for each other. I want to take time for you. I want to tell you the little things that I think you need to hear. And what do we all need to hear? I care about you. How are you doing? Simple. Do we tell people that? One of the things that Sally's been very good about is letting me know I love you. It's funny. Early in our life, we told it to each other, then it went away. And then later on, we learned we need to hear those things. You need to know that partner of yours loves you. We all want to be loved. We want to be appreciated. And if we don't tell, how does the other person know? Same way Santa doesn't know. So you have to tell them. How many kids come up and tell me, I love you? That's why I love saying it, because the kids will say it right back to you. And so who wants to be, everybody wants to be loved. Why not just sit there and say, I love you, and you'll get this. Well, maybe I love you. And you go, okay. But you can make it fun. You can make it whatever you want to. But those 3 words are huge. And I care about you. They're the little words that seem forgotten, that mean a lot to people. And we tend to live in a world that I think we care, but we don't verbalize like we used to. And that's the key. I don't care how long I get to do Santa, because it'll all depend on my health. But I want every child that comes to me to know that I loved them and I cared about them when they were on my lap. I wanted it to be perfect for them.
What do you envision your last time as Santa in the chair? Do you think that far ahead? Like, okay, what that very last time you get up and say,
I do. Because I watch so many people at 82. How long? I'm in pretty good health for my age, but how long will I have this good health? Of the bus drivers, there's only 4 of us that don't have parts that have been replaced. And part of it is 2 of them are younger, but me and another lady, we haven't had parts replaced. And so you go and you look at yourself and you say, you see this person limp off, or you see them hunched down, and you wonder, that could be me. How long am I going to get you sit in that chair? And I'm telling you, when you've been busy or something, especially around Christmas, when it seems like you have to, the hardest thing you can do at Christmas is do not change your timetable with them. You have very little time with them. Enjoy that time. Say the words they need to hear. Don't forget them. Don't get, hey, you've got a line. That line doesn't mean anything to me. I want that child to have an impression. And so you get to where you just, when you sit and think, how long am I going to be this? Boy, my knees are really hurting me.
Yeah, I'd set it up after that.
This left knee that played some sports, and it's reminding me we didn't do well. You do get that.
Yeah, but do you picture that very last time, though, if you're going to be filled with emotion, or you're going to
I will be filled with emotion. Just know it, because I love it.
You'll be sad and happy, or just sad?
I'll be just sad.
Just sad.
My body will tell me, don't do it anymore. You're not the Santa you need to be.
Well, will you tell your repeat customers that this is the last year? It would be hard to, wouldn't it?
Yes, I will get very emotional. It's funny. I wasn't emotional as a child or growing up or anything. Now all of a sudden I became Santa. Emotion, I can flow like because I see how much the world is changing. How some kids are not feeling loved. And I think in this world, if you don't feel loved, what do you feel? If you felt like nobody loved you, what would you feel like? And so it just hurts me to think, so I've got to let that person know they are loved. I've got to.
So you have to train someone to come in behind you to do exactly the same thing.
No, I'll walk. I won't have a thing to do with it. When I go, I go. I'm like the deep dark. No, because they may want to go a different direction. The mall may say, he's been here so long, we need to go a different direction. And I understand that. That's the world we live in. So I don't want to have any input. I don't want to have anything else. When I decide my body says no, I'll say thank you and goodbye. Enjoy it.
And hang up your suit and do what with it?
I don't know about that. That will be the hard part. It's like all the shirts and all I have.
Yeah.
I had one of my friends call me and say, I'm going to a Christmas party. Can I borrow one of your shirts? Well, yeah, come over. I'll give it to you. You can have it. No, I don't want it. You can have it back. No, you may need it the next year too. But, I mean, how would you like to have 44 shirts you're saying in a closet? You're not going to wear them out anymore. And that's like I tell my kids and all when they talk about Christmas. Well, what do you want for Christmas? guys, take a good look at me. I don't want anything that, I'm fine. Well, no, we got to get you something. Why? Well, it's Christmas. Well, but guys, you buying me a shirt? Look at my closet. I've got all these shirts I can't wear now. I mean, I've got 100 shirts sitting in there.
You don't need any more decorations. Santa stuff.
Now, okay, my wife has been very good about letting me have my Santa stuff because it started in my office. And in my office, when it got full, I said, I would like to buy a china cabinet and put in the hall. And she said, no, why don't we buy one for the living room and just put it over in the corner where the entry is? I said, great idea. So I bought that one. And then when I filled that one, then the other one came for the hall. And I said, I'm going to need another one. And she said, for what? And I said, well, as you will see when you go to my office, I kind of have a trail in to my chair and then to the closet, and that's it. You can't just walk. So then the next thing came up, and then people give you things, and then you see something that reminds you of a good moment at Christmas, and you buy that thing. And then all of a sudden you look around and your wife says, you're getting too much. You're getting too much. And so then you start coming across the front. And then I bought those two cabinets because there was so much laying on the floor. And she said, okay, now that's enough, right? And I said, you made a good point. I'll cut back on it. That's when I bought that one. That was straight back behind you because I had stuff that I wanted to start putting it by years. This was out in the 1930s. This came out in the 40s. This was all made in the United States. I ran out of space in one cabinet, and so then you get into the other. But I fell in love with Fitz and Floyd, their stuff. It's the medium price. It's not the real high price. It's not the lowest price. But when we went to Colorado Springs has all these artists that go in there and they do different things. Well, they were the ones that had Christmas stuff. And when I was in my first year, I walked into that store and said, oh, I love this. I could have a few of these things. And then I looked at the price and I said, oh, man, this stuff is expensive. And my wife said, well, find something that's more in the medium. And so I did. That was Fitz and Floyd. And then I found out Fitz and Floyd was made by artists in the United States, by a company in the United States. Then I learned that they went to Taiwan. They went to Korea. They've now been in 9 countries. They went to Japan, and now they're in China. And so a lot of my stuff is from the different countries that they were. And they usually have a plate or a candy dish, and then they have a pitcher, and then they have this, that, and the other. But most of them, they just have 4 or 5 items. And so I kind of selected cookie jars. I like those, and I like the pitchers, and then just the plate. And as you look at those, they just have a symbol of Christmas. And it was a thought. You try to think, this artist drew that. What was he thinking when he drew that? What made him do this? Put that extra little. And so I get real crazy trying to think about what all they were thinking was. And so I see this stuff and I love it. I don't like it. I love it. And my wife finally said, when is enough enough? And I said, I won't buy any more, no matter what. Now, it's been tough because a couple people that know me have brought me stuff and said, I saw this and thought of you here. And you're going, okay, I'll take it, but no more. My wife has told me now, like you give us stuff. And so I can just tell you, sitting here like we are now, when it gets Christmas, I'll come in here and kick my feet up and I'll look around at this stuff and I get in such a Christmas mood. It's unbelievable.
It's hard not to, just sitting here today.
Well, it's like, I'll give you the story of the tree. We were traveling in the very beginning. We had a little 5-foot tree, not real. And so we would come in, set this 5-foot tree up right there where that is. We were at an estate sale. And I walked out to the garage and this guy had this 9-foot tree, synthetic. And he said, would you like this? And I said, no, I don't think my wife would let me have it. I better not. And so he said, well, ask her. So I said, Sal, hey, what do you think if I get me a 9-foot tree, set it up in the deal? Because we don't really even set the 5-foot up. And she said, well, we're gone all the time. If you want to do it, do it. So I told the guy, okay, make me a trade. I'll bring you my 5-foot tree. You tell me what we're going to pay the difference. He did. And then I paid the difference. And then he told me, he said, now, what are you going to do with it? I said, I'm going to set it up in my den. I said, I'll set it up in the living room. It's there. He said, your wife will let you leave that up? I said, sure. She didn't care. I set it up and found out wives do care when you do that, because it's like she plays bridge and plays one thing, and the ladies don't have a lot of room. And that has become the problem. So that's where we're going with this. So I have not touched anything other than the 3 gifts that have been given to me. I have not bought anything since February.
Of this year.
Oh, yeah, this year. Don't be, yes, you stop that. Yes. But, yeah, I just, and my one, see, I always have this one little deal I can say to her. My one little deal that I bought that I love the most, she knocked it over and broke it. So I can always say, I'm just trying to replace what you broke. Which will start a pretty good argument. So I got to be careful what I do with that one. But yes, we shall see. Hang on just a second. I got to kind of get you to.
Yeah.
Okay. What other question?
Do you have any frightening moments? Things that happen that just
No, I just have sad moments, I think.
no irritated parents?
No.
Cut the line too soon and followed you to the car or anything? No.
Never had that. No.
No.
Geez, now you're making me think about it. No, I've never been into that. I never thought of people being there.
Or any parents get upset with you hearing you say you love their kid, or no.
I've had people thank me for doing that. I've had parents that have told me afterwards that, he comes to you every year because you tell him you love him. And she said, it's been very good for us because we say it more now. And that's what it's all about. If you get to the point that you're not enjoying it, this is an enjoyment job. This isn't one of those things you take and you say, okay, what am I going to be paid? This is one of those things, if you can't realize that you're making a difference, that you're doing something that you like, if you can't appreciate it, get out of it. There's some Santas I wish I could say, get out of it. But it's not something that you want to make an impact. You want people to be happy at Christmas. You want this child to think good of Santa. You know, it's too easy to upset somebody, but it's really hard not to upset anybody. And so the more you can do that, I've had people upset because the lines were long and didn't like it.
Yeah.
And
You can't help that though.
you can't do that. And one of them will say, you just take too long with the kids. The kids are why I'm here. And so you just, that's just not a thing. But with things changing, the lines aren't bad now. They're really not. And so all those days are behind us. So really, it's about enjoyment. It's about making an impact. Are you making an impact with these people? Are you really, you'll have the parents that will want to hear what you say to them versus the ones that don't. I want to hear what you're saying to him. Okay, not a big deal. Stand right here by my chair if you want to. That was something I had to get used to. I wanted it to be private. And then I thought, wait a minute, you're a parent. You want to know what people are saying to your kid. So you learn those are things you just have to adjust to. And I think in watching the children, they're not watching mom anyway or dad. They're watching you. They don't, what you say is what they hear, and that's it. And as long as you're not doing anything, and it's like the one that brings you the list that's so long and everything else, and you tell him, I want to bring you one special gift. So what's that one special gift? And he looks at you, and it's not on the list. And you go, is that really what you want? Look up at mom and dad. You've got a list here, and he doesn't want these things. You're going, but that shows you they have their own mind. So we have to listen. It's that old deal. Are you listening to your child? And so, no, when I have to give this up, I'm going to tell you, I'll sob like an old, it will break my heart, but I don't want to cheat the kids at all.
You just won't look back. Just
I won't look back. No, I'll look back only in memories.
Yeah.
Because when my dad was alive, he used to say, son, remember this. This is a good memory. We're going to remember this. And that's what we do. Because he said, we've had our arguments, we've had our bad times and everything else. But he used to say, when we were out working on my car or something and we'd do it and we'd drive it and come back, he'd say, you remember this. This is a good memory for us. And that's what I want the kids to have, a good memory of Santa. And okay, there we go. We're talking about my kids here. And how many kids do you have? Way too many. No, you can't have too many kids. They're tomorrow. Just think, if you sit in a nursing home and this person comes up to you and say, do you remember me? I came to you when you were Santa. You hope you got along. Yeah. But yes, it's life.
I think you're giving them some hope too.
Yeah. The hardest thing for a parent is to be right and be strict, but be loved. Now, which do they remember? Do they remember you love them? Or do they remember you just being strict? And that's a real tough, that's a tough one. And a lot of kids, if you realize that mom and dad have an impact, everything they do, have an argument in the other room, has an impact. Anything they do, they notice. Kids notice everything. You may think they don't, but at that age too, they hear better than we do at an older age. So they're going to hear. And it's silly not, if you have an argument and they hear it, explain to them. Mom and I disagreed over something, but we love each other. Remember that word. I'm huge on it. We love each other. And so when you explain things to kids, it's just like going to see Santa. Where are you going to see Santa? Picture for mom and dad, but so you can tell him what you want. But at the same time, he needs to hear he's loved because Jesus loved him. You know, he gave these parents this perfect child. So enjoy them, but be upfront with them. Most people don't sit and explain to children anymore. My mom explained everything to me. My dad came that belt. That's the only thing I knew Dad was good for. And it was like, we had a downstairs bathroom. You go in there was a sink and a toilet. That was it. But when you went in there, you knew Dad was coming with the belt. Oh, man. So, people say, well, was he brutal? No. I did something wrong, and that was his punishment. Did I know I did it wrong? Yeah. Was I willing to take it? Yeah. So maybe I can do it again. I mean, kids, I believe they are so open-minded in the beginning. We close a lot of it off because we're not open with them. Most parents think, I cannot tell them this. We cannot tell them that. I can't buy you that gift. We're having some financial problems. Tell them. But we could get something else. It's like when kids ask for too much. Santa, tell them that's too much. Mom and Dad are probably going to buy you something special. Now, Santa can help direct them, but Santa's not going to bankrupt them. And so they'll understand that. Remember, these are little minds that are willing to listen. Later on, it's when we don't. So, I enjoy children because they're open-minded. They're at an age to where they want to try things. You did when you were that age. And so now we're asking them, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Do you know what Christmas is about? Remember, when I ask them that, there's only 15% of them, maybe today, that say it's Jesus' birthday. The rest of them know the Christmas tree, the lights, and a Christmas present. Grandma and Granddad come to town. That's all nice, but why did we start it? That's crazy. I have a deal I'll show you. It has the outfit that the different countries wear at Christmas, but it has one thing that I really like. It shows you the year that they started having a Santa. And you'd be surprised, we're way late compared to the other countries. But it's the whole thing. If other countries are aware of it, what is it really like at their Christmases? I wish I knew. I wish I could have been a Santa in another country just to see what it's like. Do they do pictures? Do they do that? I don't really know. But I have the curiosity. This has kind of opened my pages of thinking outside the box. And that is hard for adults because we want to close the box as we get older. I want to think out of it. I want to think about the children that are coming to see me, the parents that have brought them. I want to think about just the attitudes of Christmas because it's important to me, because I want to leave it in a good frame. I want people to say, oh, it's Christmas coming. Let's enjoy it. Who's coming this year? It's just the family. Great. Let's enjoy each other. Now, what are we going to do? I can remember one year, Mom and Dad, we had some financial problems. And Mom said, your dad is going to make you a gift, so figure what it wants. What do you mean, make me a gift? He's the one that we bought the red wagon that was broke, and he made it back where it would run for me, or where I could pull it. But and it was fine with me. It was still the wagon I wanted. So it's just finding what fits in life. What really fits for you? Do you like it when people walk by you and smile? Or do you think, why did they smile at me? There's that two frame of mind that goes back and forth. When a child comes up to you and says, before he even gets in your seat, I want a wagon. I want a train. It's going to, are you going to sit in my lap before you tell me, or you want to? Mom said I have to take a picture with you too. Okay. Now, did you tell me the color, or do you want me to get that purple one? Is there a purple one? And so you just open the door. And
now he wants a purple one, and there isn't one.
yeah, watch what you say there. That's when you have to turn around and say, oh, we're all sold out. But that is true. If you say it, remember, you got to live with it.
Yep.
Because he's going to live with it, and he's going to tell you the next year. I had a boy come to me one time. He came in and he said, hey, I told you I wanted that big Hulk. And this wasn't a big one. And I said, how did you describe it? And he said, I said big. I said, Hulk is big. So I said, what size did you want? I wanted my size. And I said, I knew you would grow, so I took it as when you were a baby. Oh.
Yeah,
think fast on your feet, because it's going to come.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got to realize they think out of the box. You've got to be willing to match it. And that's what I like about it, though.
Challenging, yes.
Because life is so short. I go back to that. And if I can make an impact on a child today, that when he has children, he says, I love Christmas. I was part of that. And that's my job, to remind them it's Jesus' birthday, they're loved, and Christmas is a very family time.
It sounds like you've accomplished that.
In a lot of cases, in some I'm still working on. But, I'll show you in just a minute. It's phenomenal how we change at Christmas. Why? That's the big question I'm trying to answer.
I don't know. In my case, I think because it takes you back to your childhood.
And that's true.
Happier, what you perceive as happier times.
I think it's two perspectives for me. It's number one, people are nicer to each other. I mean.
But why? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know why. Why do people, why can people be nice at Christmas and not at the New Year's party? It's something that we wish we knew the answers to, but we don't. We may never know.
You'd like to bottle it for year round.
Yes. Because it's like when I meet somebody my age and they're grumpy, it's like, you're kidding. You better be happy you're this age. Oh, you're ready to move on. I'm not. So give me a few more years, big guy. Are you listening to me? But I mean, that's the thing. If you're not happy, and whether we all admit it or not, if we're happy, we're glad we're here. It's when we get unhappy, we find fault with everything. We find fault with others. And we don't try to do anything to make it better. It's like, my answer to try to make it better, I'm Santa Claus. There you go.
I don't know what my answer is. I guess that's the question for the day. On the way home.
You go home and think about that. But, just think about it. What is it? At Christmas, I'm amazed how people greet people differently. I watch it in the mall, see it all the time. Oh, there's Susan. Susan, great to see you, blah, blah, and they hug each other. Now, we go to January. How you doing?
Yeah.
What was the difference? Don't know. But it's how we are.
But you've noticed it, yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of toy changes too, from like Beanie Babies to Cabbage Patch and all those trends too.
Well, Cabbage Patch, I will tell you, I stood at a TGNY family center when they had so many, and I stood in line, and I was number one, I think 31, maybe 37 or 31. I can't remember now. But anyway, I stood in line to get a Cabbage Patch doll for my daughter. And I showed up there at 5:30 in the morning, knowing they didn't open till 8 o'clock. But I stood there and sat there. And what really got me was, I looked at this doll and I'm thinking, I've been here. I got up at what time to come to get in this line? But I saw on her face, it's worth it. See, but that's the way we are. If we do something and you see the person smile, you feel satisfied. If the person doesn't smile, we're like, what did we do wrong? So the smile, see, there's just things that go together that we forget. We act like we don't care. We care. We're a very caring society. But the problem is we forget that we need to share our love and our caring of each other. We just let it go. It's unbelievable. So, I'm Santa at Christmas for a reason.
Yes, you are.
And, think about this. If there was a time in the year, your birthday, 4th of July, all these other holidays we have, if you ask children, when's the best time of the year, what do they say?
Christmas.
Christmas. Over their birthdays. I mean, you can amaze me by the amount of children that will say, what's your favorite time of the year? Christmas. What about your birthday? Well, I like it too, but Christmas. And so, what is it we're doing right at Christmas that we can't carry it on? It's just...
Well, in your case, what's your favorite
Christmas. You're kidding.
and what are you doing right at Christmas to carry it on? You're
But
being
remember,
Santa. You're being Santa.
Okay, but it's all about my father started it. I have to remember dragging that wagon. Son, bring me 2. Here I go. And it was just...
Did he do that just one Christmas, or did you do it at
I did it for 4 Christmases with
4
him.
Christmases.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Drug that wagon behind him. And then, I don't know what happened after that, but we didn't do it anymore after that. But I was 8 years old then. I don't know what it was, but it was just, I have a brother, an older brother. He didn't go with us. It was just my dad and I. And so, why? I have no idea.
Santa in training.
Yeah.
Way back then.
Didn't know it at the time. But I would always say, we would get down to the last one and I would say, Dad, don't forget me. Don't forget me. I didn't. And those things were so big.
I remember them. You'd have to have a hammer to break them.
Oh, they were just ridiculous. And as 8 years old, it's like eating a big pickle or something. You just, yes. But look at the impact it had on my life. Mm-hmm. So now you try to make that impact on other people. And Christmas is my way of trying. It's what I do the rest of the year. Am I not that nice of a guy? I don't know. But I can tell you, Christmas has changed me. Some of the things I used to do when I got mad in my car at people, I don't do today. Number one, because I have a Santa sticker on the front of my car, and I don't want people to say, that guy's, how can he be Santa and do that? But I mean, I want people to just realize, if you've been honored by giving a child, enjoy that time, because they're going to be up and gone, and they'll have their families too. Now, was your impact a good impact or a bad impact? When you look at some of these people today, that don't seem to like their children. It's amazing to me. Look at the grandparents that are raising kids today. That's sad. Now, I'm sorry. Look at the amount of divorces we have. Again, that's sad. How do the children feel about it? You know, do they realize they have two parents? That's my big deal. And that's usually the question I ask them is, when they tell me mom and dad's divorced, I don't have to ask. They will just tell you, okay, what do you want? Well, mom says, okay, what dad say? Well, dad's not with us. Well, but you're going to see dad at Christmas? No, I don't see him. Why? How can you, now we'll get on my bandwagon here. How can you have a child and not support that child mentally? I don't care if you can't do it financially. You can do it mentally. They need to know that their father cared. We're getting too deep now.
Well, your father cared.
Yeah.
And then you, as a father, cared.
Yeah.
So
and
you were good.
The thing is, I sit and wonder. My wife reminds me every now and then, what has made you so Christmas? And it's these last 25 years of just feeling good. The more I come in here, the more I sit, the more I look at things. I have great memories. I don't have good memories. I got great memories. I can think of different parents coming up. I can think of different things I've said to parents. I'm sure I've aggravated some parents that are divorced that come up and all. And I say, just remember, your all's actions is playing a big part of their life. So let love be the main word they hear. And a lot of, you don't know, and that's true. But I say it anyway, because they need to hear it. Whether they want to hear it isn't important to me. I want them to realize this young child, no matter what age, you're making an impact on. So let them know, mom and dads don't have to get along, but my love for you doesn't change. I'm with you till the day you die. Well, that's what I've threatened my kids with. I'm going to love you till the day you die. Oh my God. So it's, you just wonder. I wonder all the time sitting in here, what do people think when they come in and they look around and they go, this guy's a nut.
No,
He's a Christmas nut. And I will take that.
And he must have a big heart, is what I think.
Thank you. I'll go for the big heart. But I can see how some people that come in say, so what is wrong with him?
People collect various things, and why not Christmas?
Why not?
Why not?
So, okay. What else you got for me here?
That's pretty much it. My last question will be, how do you want people to remember you? Not as Santa, but you.
Wow. See, I kind of want them to remember me as just a good guy. I cared. If they can say, Mike made a lot of mistakes, but he did care about people and he loved kids. I'll go with that.
All right.
Because that's me in a nutshell.
And he loved Christmas. That's part of in the nutshell too, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't leave Christmas out.
No.
Well, it's like I brought one of my grandchildren over here, and he's 24. And I said, before you leave, if there's any of this stuff you want, put your name on it, because Sally's mom and dad at their house, they had you write if you wanted that, if you wanted that, put your name on it. You'll get it in the will. He looked at me. He said, well, you'd have to explain all this stuff to me first. And I said, well, just pick you a china cabinet. Oh, is that what these are called? China cabinets? I said, okay, we're going to need a lot of help. He said, what do we do with all this stuff? And I said, well, you can put it in an estate sale. Well, we don't know what to sell it for. And I'm going, you're selling my stuff? Okay. But it shows you it doesn't have the impact on them.
Not yet, anyway.
I'm hoping as the grandkids come, I will let them pick items that they want. And I'm going to give it to them now. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to see them with it. A lot of times when you give somebody something in an inheritance, you don't see it.
You don't.
So I want to see it. So that's probably what I'll do is just let them pick something. I used to, when I got real silly about all this stuff, it's like snow globes. I can remember my dad had a snow globe and he would say, make a wish. Okay, I'm listening. Yeah. Oh. Santa says you haven't been very good this year. What? Oh, I don't know. I'll talk to him about it. Is there anything you want to say to me? No. But I mean, that's it. The snow globes, you'll see when we go to the other room, I have a bunch of them. All these things, when I buy them, they must work. Because I started off, I'd buy anything. It didn't have to work or anything. And somebody said, do you fix them? What? Do I fix them? No. They're broke. Well, why'd you buy something that was broke? I wanted it. Don't have an answer. So I don't know why I do things. But I do. Okay. Let me show you around if I may.
Okay, let me say thank you for letting me come today.
My pleasure.
It's my